All right, guys, I'm in the hot seat. I think this is going to be the new style of video. I think people, I've sort of noticed that people are getting tired of content that is constantly edited, this thing, that thing, and people just like this raw kind of content and really getting to know people. So that's what I wanted to do in this video. Now, you read the title, 11 months of semen retention. Yes, I'm still going. You can watch my previous ones, but if I'm just going to give you a spoiler alert. There's not a massive amount that has changed in the last 6 months, to be completely honest. I do think when you get to the 6 month mark beyond, not a whole lot changes, but in this video I wanted to break down the benefits and actually some downsides. And I want this to be as raw and real as possible, so you guys really feel like, I'm just being authentic and I'm telling you the truth so you can get an insight into the situation, right? So first things first, right? One thing I noticed on semen retention at this stage is purpose. My sense of purpose is definitely stronger. However, only to a degree. I would say there is this kind of mental, you have so much energy, sometimes that energy can turn into like not necessarily self-sabotage, but just your mind finding you need to be here, you need to be doing this, you need to be at this amount of money per month, you need to be, this guy's 21, he's doing more than you, and it's like this never-ending battle in your mind, which can be a little bit toxic, and sometimes I find that can drain you. And I do find that if you're not able to really focus your energy, focus yourself, focus on the purpose that's in front of you and doing the thing you're meant to do, that voice becomes stronger because you have more energy, like because you're on this journey. That I noticed that, but overall the sense of purpose is definitely stronger when you get this far into semen retention. I mean, we're coming up to a year, and it's kind of crazy too because it is tough. Like, I won't lie, it's definitely tough to stay on this path. And sometimes I ask myself, like, I've gone through phases where I'm like, man, like, am I kind of like holding myself back? Like, am I kind of like doing this semen retention thing, and am I missing out on life by doing this? Am I missing out on like hooking up? And guys, I'll be straight honest with you. I have gone home with girls. Maybe I've been out with some friends and like I'll end up back at a girl's house, right? And bear in mind, these girls are like girls that I actually genuinely like and I find very attractive, but yet for some reason I just can't do it. Like, I just can't sleep with them, and it's not a case of like being scared to sleep with them in a sense of like inexperienced or anything like that. It's more just of a case of like, I just don't know. Like, I just feel like I'd be going against the covenant or the kind of like the thing I said to myself, because when I broke up with my ex-girlfriend, I said to myself, like, number one, I'm not gonna sleep around, because that was partly the reason why I left her. And two, like, I want the next person I have sex with to be the girl that I want to be with for good. And I think a lot of guys feel this way, to be honest. I do think there are a lot of guys out there that actually do have that mentality, but we all know the saying, guys, nice guys finish last. And it is true, and it is very, very frustrating. But that's what we do on this journey. And I think I've kind of gone off topic there, but I'll tie it back to one of my points that I wrote down. But I think what that is you don't need sex, bro. Like, you don't need to like sleep with a girl. It's not as like a net. It's not as like something you need to do. Whereas other guys, all they're thinking about is sex. And what you have to realize, and what I've realized in life, is there's a difference between lust and love. And lust is taking, love is giving. And for me to sleep with a girl, they want it. These girls want it, right? They want to have sex. But I'm like, why though? Like, why you're an unevolved person. Like, you're not advanced in your way of who you are. And, I think that's the issue with the world today. And there's so much of that going around. And we see it online, social media, like we see all this degeneracy. And some people aren't affected by it. But like I said, when you do semen retention for 11 months, that's not, bear in mind, I've done this for 2 years in the past too. it does take you to a different plane where you look at things from a different perspective, and you operate more from your heart than you do your dick. Like, don't get me wrong, obviously I still feel sexual attraction, but I operate more from my heart, and I'm more seeking to satisfy that higher part of myself rather than that lower part of myself. But let's go back on topic, back to the key points. So I'm just going to sip some water because I need some water. Okay, no edits, no cuts. This is all one take. So next up, clear-minded. Definitely clearer-minded. Definitely able to think a lot sharper, more concise in my conversations. I can think really well. Like, I can remember things really well. Definitely a mental boost, for sure. I notice. And yeah, again, concise communication. Like, I'm able to like say the things I want to say and string my words together a lot better, and think about what I'm trying to say and have it manifest like into my words. So yeah, that's definitely a noticeable benefit. And just more presence, more power in the voice. You know, more kind of like, yeah, that's actually one I didn't write down, to be fair. That I was thinking, like, there is definitely more presence to you. You know, there's more of an aura around you, and sometimes you can have kind of like a wet dream or whatever. And I do find that after that, I do feel like a little bit off. It's like my bearings are off, and I find that like my energy's just not on. It's not on point. It's like everything's out of tune, and it takes a few days to retune. But when I'm in this state, I feel incredible. I feel great. And there's like this fire in me. There's like this passion in me. Like, if I watch sports, if I'm watching boxing, if I'm watching football, whatever I'm watching, it's like there's this fire in me to want to be on the pitch. There's a fire in me to want to be the guy boxing. Like, it's because like there's this like spirit in me. And I think a lot of people around me don't have that. You know, they're very much content with like where they are in life, and like they sit back and they accept the fact that they'll never be something. And you know, I'm like getting to an age, I'm like 23, so I don't think my chances of ever becoming a professional boxer or pro footballer are really on the cards at this point. But the point is, like, I think you should always, you know, it's good to have that spirit in you, for sure. But another one is strong eye contact. There's definitely strong eye contact. And I think the reason simply for that is just the fact that you're removing that shame from doing the act of watching porn and masturbating. And I think it varies for people. Like, for me to say, oh yeah, you're you know, some people might watch porn and they don't actually feel any shame, so they don't care to look people in the eye, but some people do. And I think a lot of it is on the subconscious plane. And I do believe when you remove porn and masturbation and you start operating from that higher place, an amazing book I would urge you all to read is As a Man Thinketh. I actually got it right here, to be fair. Let me just get this out. I'd implore you to read this book. I think, and also not just this book, but the book Out from the Heart with it. I think it's an incredible book, and it really explains what I'm trying to explain in a much better way than I can do it. But you're operating from a different part of yourself, and when you have that integrity, like, you know, we want to learn to build trust with ourselves. We want to say to ourselves, okay, I'm going to do this, and you do it. That builds confidence, that builds trust in ourselves. And like, for example, I just came off a 3-day fast, literally 6 a.m. this morning. I woke up and I was eating. Not crazily, because last time I did that, my heart was going to explode. But, you know, I was eating in the morning, and it's like, I did that, you know, 3 days. Never in my life have I abstained from food for that long. And it was a good experience. And it definitely was quite a spiritual, mental challenge. Obviously, there's a physical benefit of the autophagy and stuff like that. But yeah, strong eye contact. And it's the same thing. Like, when you're watching porn, you're not being your best self. You know, you're not showing up as the best version of you. And the act of watching porn brings you to you know, the levels of consciousness. It brings you to the lowest level of shame, and that is what's showing through your eyes, because the eyes are the gateway to the soul. You know, I've explained this in a previous video. So yeah, like, my eye contact's definitely a lot better, a lot stronger. You know, like, even when I'm in, and I feel like this is something I feel. And I don't know if this is specifically semen retention, but when I walk into a room, I'm not afraid for everyone to look at me, and I'm not afraid to kind of like own the situation in some cases. Not always by any means, but I'm much more inclined to show up rather than show down, if that makes sense. Like, I can put on that charismatic character much easier when I'm doing semen retention. There's just more energy in me, there's more spark in me. The eye contact, like I said, is better. And yeah, if I go into a shop, I'll say hello, you know, It's just it's just a better way to live. Like, I just think if this is a lifestyle that every single man, I think if every single man did semen retention, did no fap, not even forever, bro. Just do it until you get a girl. Do it till you get a girlfriend. Do it till you get with a, you get your wife or whatever. Then have sex with her as much as you want. But I just don't think there's any gain for a man to beat off. Like, I just think it's a low level behavior. It's weak behavior, and the consequences are so negative. Like, it just makes you into a weirdo. It makes you into a pervert. It makes you feel like shit. You can't push more weight in the gym. You don't act as masculine. You can't go and approach that girl. I mean, you can click on the video before this one that I'm posting, and you'll see that I did a street interview with 4 women, right? Nice girls. And that was hard for me. Honestly, I was actually incredibly nervous to do that day. But I knew I had to do it. I knew I had to show up. I knew I had to be courageous and do it with boldness. And it went well. And I don't think I would have ever done that if I was watching porn. I don't think I would have ever done that, right? So that's another thing, strong eye contact, a healthier mind and a healthier body, for sure. I definitely believe that you're going to have an increase in testosterone. You're retaining your vital energy. If we look at like traditional medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, the Jing, you're saving your life force energy. Like, every time you bust a nut, every time you ejaculate, you're losing the best resources your body has to offer, and then your body has to go into a whole process to regenerate that, which takes away. It's kind of like I don't know, it's like trying to, I don't really have a good example, but like trying to download a file on your PC, and it's like, or like you're trying to open 1,000 tabs at once, and it's like it takes away from the full power of which or it's like Wi-Fi, it's like too many devices on at once. It takes away from what you have to offer in the moment. So yeah, so healthier body, healthier mind. I think mental resilience is definitely stronger on semen retention. And like, I know a lot of guys use porn as a stress coping mechanism, but using when you give porn up, it can be difficult to begin with, but over time, you do get stronger, and you can actually just handle more stress. Like, you can actually take on more stress as a result, and you don't need those coping mechanisms. So it strengthens you in that sense, for sure. Spiritually too, I'd say it's much easier. You're going to be much closer to God when you're not thinking with your penis. When you're not, your penis doesn't know God. Your penis doesn't have that intellect. It doesn't have that kind of spirituality to it. Whereas your heart, in your head, I guess, mainly your heart, that's where you're going to really connect to God. And I find that it's much easier to tap into that. And another thing too is like, I think I might have written this down. Yeah, so like higher stress tolerance, more patient. I can sit, I can listen, I can tolerate more. Things don't annoy me, things don't frustrate me. You'll never catch me throwing a temper tantrum. My baseline is solid, and it doesn't change, it doesn't move, and I think that's incredibly masculine. I think that's incredibly attractive, and that's a super powerful thing. So yeah, I definitely think that correlates to semen retention, because when you do fat, whatever, you lose touch with that like stronger part of yourself. More focus, more discipline, and more energy to channel into your purpose. I think what I think a lot of people misunderstand, and this isn't something I want people to understand, this is that doing nofap and semen retention is not going to make you a millionaire. It's not going to make you this amazing person. I do think people blow it out of proportion too much. But what I do think it does is, it's like, imagine having more, it just gives you more, right? Like, it's like having more money to invest in a business. Like, you're getting more money given to you, but it's what you choose to do with that money that really counts. And it's the same principle. Like, if it's what you choose to do with that energy, with that focus, with that determination, with that extra aggression. If you do nothing with it, it just goes into the ether. It fizzles away. It gets wasted on, video games, or it gets wasted on things that aren't actually moving the needle in your life. And I will hold my hands up and admit that I am someone who has had this issue where I've got this energy, I've got this focus, and for some reason I'm not being a savage and utilizing it as much as I could be to move myself forward. But it's much easier to be disciplined. It's much easier to be focused, to meditate every day. If you want to read every day, it's much easier to tap into that when you're doing semen retention. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, another one is high testosterone. So I do think too, like my testosterone is a lot higher. Just in general, like my baseline levels are a lot higher. Um, yeah, there's not really much else to say about that. It makes sense. You know, you're retaining all those nutrients. Um, but overall, I would definitely say higher T. Like in the gym, I can hit the weights, I can train hard. You know, my recovery isn't too bad. Yeah, I'd say that's definitely a benefit for sure. High testosterone. Another one, like this is a bit dark, right? But no escaping your demons. And I think this is kind of interesting. When you choose a life of not just in terms of semen retention, but just sobriety and just like, you know, even like fasting, it makes you face all your demons, all the things that you're putting off, all the thoughts, the memories, all the experiences you had in your life. They kind of bubble to the surface, and like some people deal with this stuff more than others. I would be honest and say I do definitely have like negative thoughts that can get into my head sometimes. And it's just about building the right system to keep you afloat, to keep you, you know, going strong. And semen retention is definitely a powerhouse in terms of improving your mood, improving your, you know, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your life, and getting you on the path to building the life you want and actually being satisfied and being happy with your existence, with your life. And like I said, there is nothing good that comes out of watching porn and masturbating. And if anything, it's destroying you, it's destroying your soul, and it's a weapon designed to keep you weak. You know, the government or the elite or whoever you want to call it know what they're doing by making young men watch this stuff, right? And that's something I understand. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it's legit. And there is people out, and this is what you have to realize, like if you're a young guy watching this or whoever's watching this, there are people that they don't care about you. They don't want to see you win. And the system is designed to keep you at the bottom because they need people to run this system, right? So yeah, you definitely need to do this. You know, it's a no-brainer, and it's, you know, where I am now 11 months in, I wouldn't change it. You know, I don't think I would get much out of a quick nut, even if that was with a girl. For me personally, like I am on this journey of looking for the right person. I'm at this point now where like I haven't been in a relationship for like coming up to a year. So I do feel quite, not lonely, but I do realize the importance and power of companionship and how having the right person by your side can be a positive thing. So I'm kind of like my headspace is in within you know, the rest of this year. But, you know, before we hit like the 2-year mark of semen retention, I would like to find someone. I would like to build a relationship. And, you know, I'm lucky that I've met some really cool girls to begin with. However, I haven't been completely sold on one just yet. So I'm patient, you know. And when I left my ex-girlfriend, I wrote out a list of things I'm looking for in a girl. And I know what it can be like when you settle for something you don't fully want. And I've learned in life that like, I'm very choosy, and I used to think this was a bad thing, but now I've realized actually, as long as you're being realistic, and it's reciprocated what you're looking for. Like if you have what you need to offer, you're ticking your boxes on your end. I think there's nothing wrong with that, and that's kind of my plan, just to maintain that discipline. And I kind of leave it. It sounds a bit crazy, but I just leave it into the hands of God. And when God is ready, and God is ready to present the right person in front of me, they shall be in front of me. But for now, I'm just working to continue on building the business and like the content like this. I think this could be a cool idea. Like just having this face to camera kind of rant. I don't know. Maybe people like it. Maybe people don't. If you do like it, please drop me a comment. Please let me know, because if you don't let me know, I might not make one again. I rely a lot on feedback. You know, I don't have a lot of people that tell me what they like, what they don't like. So it's important for you guys to let me know what you enjoy. But having said that, that's like one downside. I guess it's a downside, but I don't think it's a downside like having to face your demons. But you do have to definitely face like your internal problems, but it brings it to the surface and it allows you to actually solve the problem at its root. Whereas when you're watching porn and you're doing other dumb degenerate stuff, you're running away from that, and it's actually perpetuating the problem, making it even worse. So stay sober, stay doing semen retention. It's going to help you to make the right choices to move you forward in life. But one more thing is, another downside is, honestly, like it does make you not necessarily go insane, but you can definitely just see the world for what it is. And I'll be completely honest, like I do often feel quite lonely because I feel like I'm on this level where I don't want to sound like conceited in any kind of way, so I hope you don't take it this way, but I do feel like I sometimes like crave that connection with people that get it, that people are on that same wavelength. And it can be difficult at times, and I've had friends like that in the past that have been on the wavelength, but I don't necessarily communicate with them as much anymore. So it is that kind of thing, like, and I'm not going to say it's lonely at the top, because by no means do I believe I'm at the top in any way, but it can be it can be a lonely path. And that brings me on to my final point. Having said all that I've said on the FAP semen retention, being 11 months in, I've actually put together a community on a platform called Skool. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but within this community, there are guys like myself, previous clients I've worked with, other guys that follow me on Instagram, and potentially yourself watching this video. There is a community I have put together where it offers that accountability. It offers actual advice. You know, this video is just the benefits of semen retention. I haven't given you any advice. I haven't given you any strategies, any mindset shifts. But the stuff in this community is the best stuff I have. You know, it's what I teach my one-on-one clients, and I've helped over 30 guys quit porn and masturbation permanently for the rest of their life, and some of them having 20 years worth of addiction, right? And the way I did that is through what's called the SRM blueprint, which is the blueprint I put together. That is a step-by-step process, going from mindset to sexual transmutation to purpose, to leading you from where you are now, getting you to where you're trying to go. And the stuff in there is kind of revolutionary. Like, I don't think I've seen anyone replicate what I've done. It's very unique because it's something I have actually developed myself over the course of working with people, and it's highly successful. And at the end of this video, I wanted to pitch that forward to you and say, hey, look, this is the community, this is the group. Not only do we have the community where you can communicate with the guys in there, but we also have a group called One Time Per Week, where we all jump on, with myself included, and all the other guys in the group. We have a Q&A, we cover different topics, and the group is currently priced at $17 a month, which might seem a little steep, but I do believe the value you're going to receive is way worth more than the 17 that you're going to get charged. The price will increase potentially in the near future, but my vision for it, my goal for it, is to build a community of like-minded men and build an ecosystem of guys who are trying to improve not just in their health, but their relationships, semen retention, understanding women, understanding physical dynamics, improving hormone optimization, and really just getting on the right track in life, and just becoming alpha guys, just becoming the kind of guys that are satisfied, look in the mirror and actually happy with what they see, So that's the ultimate goal. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I will put the link to the community under the video, and you can go check that out. I highly recommend doing that. If you have any questions about the community before joining, you can DM me via Instagram. My Instagram will also be in the bio below. But yeah, I'd love to see you guys in that group. It'd be great to connect with you, great to get to know you on a personal level. And yeah, man, like I said, 11 months into semen retention, it's going well. I'll probably do a year video too, next month, or, just around the corner. And I hope you found this insightful. I hope you found this interesting. And if you have any questions at all, or anything you want me to answer in my next video, by all means, put it in the comments below. But I'm super happy for you all. I hope you all have a lovely day. And yeah, thank you for watching the video. Take it easy.